Yo, 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 yo. Alright, peace. Salam family, it's your brother Cool. Now, it's been a while since I've done one of these. And I stated in I've been a little busy, but I'm settled and grounded once again. So now like I said, my focus is mainly in Suno University. So if you do need to get in touch with me, I would suggest you email me at suneluniversity@gmail.com. Also, if you're having issues getting access to the videos on the Suno University page, please email me. I receive recent emails of people having issues, so I just simply shared my folder with them, you know what I'm saying, in the time being while I'm getting everything resolved. So for some reason, some of my videos are not being made available on the Suno University page. So it's just making me think of going into private, you know what I'm saying, in terms of that aspect, just dealing privately with the people rather than through YouTube in terms of that particular channel. So that's where I'm at with that. But you know, while I've been moving and getting settled in to the new domicile, I'm catching up now on everything that's been taking place. You know, also getting my own house in order in terms of my family as well as my my state. So with that being said, I've been peeping a lot of you know, things from various different sources. I'm not going to say any names, but from various different sources, pretty much attempting to, I guess, make Moorish Americans fraudulent. You know what I'm saying? So this is not stuff that people make up, y'all. This is things in documentation. Everything has been recorded for the purpose of the future generations being able to take a stroll back down memory lane and go through those things to relive in the mind's eye what happened. So nobody really knows true history, if you ask me. It's not being taught in the schools. And so people need to understand certain things. We are all Moors. We are all Moors. Alright? There's no doubt. There's no contradiction. There's no what ifs. We are all Moors to these lands known as the Al-Maricanos. Now, mind you, everything that I'm going to say, excuse me, I'm looking at myself, but I'm looking at the camera. Everything I'm going to go through, or everything that I'm going to say, give me 1 second here. That's interesting. Something fell. There we go. It's right there. Cool. All right. Everything that I'm going to say, I'm going to qualify it with actual documented proof. Now, I've been hearing a lot of things about Moors. You know, we're all about documents and paperwork and etc., etc., and we're about religion. One second, because this is going to be a good session. The truth doesn't need to be defended or qualified, but I've heard people defending it, various Moors, in the proper way. They've taken the proper stance. So I just want to add, you know what I'm saying, to that plethora of qualification of statements. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, when I make the statement that I'm Moorish American, do I comprehend what I'm saying? Do you comprehend what I'm saying? Especially when it comes down to religion, because religion is such a sensitive topic. Such a sensitive topic. And a lot of people want to make it seem like, you know, to be Moorish American is a religion, has nothing to do with people or bloodline, has everything to do with churches and temples and things like that. So, you know, like a club. And it's not a club, you know. It's not a club. Being Moorish American is very real. It's very real. Yeah, well, then people say, well, how do you know you're Moorish American? How do you know you are Moor? What's the bloodline? I don't know if y'all people knew, but at one point, there was nothing but melanated people on this planet. So everywhere you went, you would find melanated people. There were no so-called European or Caucasian people around these times. This is when the continents were all together. It was all one at one time, right? So people need to understand what's really taking place. Alright? You really need to understand what's taking place. I mean, if you don't understand what's taking place, you're just going to run, or you're going to come across people saying certain things, downplaying the history of the Moors and the truth behind it, and you might run with it if you don't know any better, if you yourself haven't done the research and the study into the history. So I hear things like these all day, and I don't budge. They don't make me second guess. Oh, am I a Moor? No, I know exactly who I am. I can see that they don't know who they are. So, with that being said, we're going to get started. We're going to get started just like this. Right here in Black's Law. So I'm going to pull up Black's Law Dictionary. Let me switch the screens here. Let me share screen. Alright, so we're in Black's Law Dictionary right now. Religion. I don't think people really comprehend what is being said in religion when it comes to the dogma religion, you know, like the go to church every Sunday type thing, or the real religion, which we're going to read what real religion has to do with. Religion, plied with the terms of the deed of trust. What? What do you mean religion means plied with the terms of the deed of trust? What does that mean? Well, first of all, let's see what the term plied means. Let's see what plied means. Let's go with plied definition. Now, this is where reading comes into play, because this right here is plied in the context of a noun. When you look at the definition, it says plied with the terms of the deed of trust. So this, in this context, would be a verb. So I need to find ply in the utilization as a verb. Okay? 1. Work with, a tool, especially one requiring steady rhythmic movements. Synonyms: used, wield, work, manipulate, handle, operate, utilize, employ. Work steadily at one's business or trade. Conduct. Alright, just a few for ply. So now, once again, synonyms: use, wield, work, manipulate, handle, operate, utilize, employ. So essentially use it, right? That's what the first word was, use it. So, what is religion? Used with the terms of the deed of trust. What's the deed of trust? What is deed of trust? An instrument in use. Oh, and by the way, we're talking about religion, y'all. All right. How do we go from religion to deed of trust? An instrument in use in many states, taking the place and serving the uses of a common law mortgage, by which the legal title to real property is placed in one or more trustees to secure the repayment of a sum of money or the performance of other conditions. So when we're talking about religion, we're talking about deed of trust, aren't we? According to law, that is. So you see the separation between what law and what we consider connotative definition. So this right here is religion. So when you talk about religion, when it comes to law, you're talking about trust. So religion is trust. Right? Okay. A few more things. We're going to look at bankruptcy of the United States. Get this document right here. Look, pull it up on Google. Just type in the bankruptcy of the United States. United States Congressional Record, March 17th, 1993, Volume 33, page H-1303. Now, y'all can go and read this upon yourselves. I done read this enough times, but I'm going right to this part right here. Prior to 1913, most Americans owned clear allodial title to property, free and clear of any liens or mortgages until the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. So prior to 1913, most Americans owned clear allodial title to property. You know what allodial means? Let's look up allodial. This is technology, y'all. Everything is right at your fingertips. You don't gotta go digging deep to find out the definitions of things. Allodial, free from the tenurial rights of a feudal lord. Let's see what else they got here. Of land held as an allodium. That's in the adjective. Go over here. Allodial. Free, not subject to the rights of any lord or superior. Owned without obligation of vassalage. Vassalage means servitude. Or fealty. The opposite of feudal, a description given to the outright ownership of land that did not impose upon its owner the performance of feudal duties, like property tax, like mortgage. See what I'm saying? So now, I'm going to pull up one of the books I have prepared for SUNY University. And one of the things I want to pull up here is this book. Barbary Treaties.
Yeah, he brought me home. Hey, baby.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Doing good. Happy to see you.
Happy to see you too.
That shit went fast.
Hey, just a second. Okay.
Oh.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. So, one of the books I created, Barbary Treaties. All right. So, of course, I know y'all noticed the red feathers and all of these Little paintings here, and the head wraps and everything. So let's go right here. And I made this book for a specific reason, of course, to educate the people within my state, so they don't have to go outward. Everything can be in-house. See what I'm saying? So let's check this out here. Barbary Treaties. The Barbary Treaties, 1786 to 1816. Treaty with Morocco. The English translation is 1786. The Arabic original of this treaty and the English translations thereof of 1786 have been examined by Dr. C. Snook Hergrungy of Leyden, whose comments and notes and translation of various articles are as follows. The inner circle of the seal contains the name Muhammad, son of Abdullah, son of Ishmael. God is his protector and his Lord. The border of the seal contains the verse taken from the well-known poem in praise of the Prophet called the Burda, which verse occurs in several other seals of these North African documents. He who takes the apostle of God for his helper, if the lions encounter him in their jungles, they will withdraw. So I'm going to skip forward a little bit and go right into the first article, because the first article is a major key here. Major key. Once again, these are congressional records, right? So the first article is that these articles mentioned in this book, being 25 articles, have been agreed upon by both parties, that took place in the presence of their agent, the Honorable Thomas Barclay, who came here from the side of the American states, Estados Americanos. Hold up. So the American states is known as the Estados Americanos, and whom they had sent to supervise their affairs in their treaty of peace with us. So hold up. Hold up. So let's go to Americanos. Because Americanos is stated in the Treaty of Peace and Friendship with the United States and Morocco. And the Americanos is known, and the American states is known as the Americanos. This is my first time doing this, by the way, looking this up. Americanos. Of course, you can see everything once I type in Americanos, everything about Moors. Definition of America. Ooh, 1828 Webster's Dictionary. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm just digging on random things. See what's up. And these are not dealing with the Americanos. Let me click the first link here. Okay. Societas Republicae e Americanos. The American states, right? The American states. So that treaty was written in 1786, right? So now I'm going to pull up another book. This one's called Pictures of True American History. Oh, and all of these books, they are on sale. They're all books. They're in PDF format. They're on sale for 15 notes for one book. For 3 books is 30 notes. For 5 books is 50 notes. And for 7 books is 60 notes. Alright, so just email me if you're interested in purchasing one of these ebooks. So, Pictures of True American History, right? Now, wanted to go specifically into this one. Not this particular one. This one right here.
Yes.
I see this right here, emblem of America. This is in the British Museum. British Museum number 2010 70 81 586. Title: An Emblem of America. Date: 1798. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship was signed in 1786. This is 12 years after. Ethnic name: Representation of American Peoples, published in London. Look at this picture right here. This is a representation of American peoples. Do that look Caucasian to you? Do that look... Yes, do that look Caucasian to you? No. Alright, so when they're talking about the Americanos, the American states, they're talking about the American people. This is who they're referring to. The Moabitess melanated woman. Alright? Of Moab. It's real simple, y'all. It's not like overly complicated. So then people try to comprehend exactly what was stated, because they don't know that there was a government in place prior to George Washington. George Washington wasn't he wasn't the beginning. I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna show you how he wasn't the beginning. Real simple. Just doing real simple stuff, y'all. Real simple stuff. Articles of Confederation. Now, we're just going to read this snippet here. The Continental Congress adopted the Articles of Confederation, the first Constitution of the United States, on November 15th, 1777. Okay, so this is about 9 years before the Peace Treaty of 1786. So right here it's stating that this is the first Constitution of the United States. However, ratification of the Articles of Confederation by all 13 states did not occur until March 1st, 1781. The Articles created a loose confederation of sovereign states and a weak central government, leaving most of the power with the state governments. The need for a stronger federal government soon became apparent and eventually led to the Constitutional Convention in 1787. Same year the Treaty of Peace and Friendship was signed. The present United States Constitution replaced the Articles of Confederation on March 4, 1789. Which is what? When the Constitution for the United States Republic of North America was ratified, 1789. I'm plugging in, you know what I'm saying? I'm plugging in the pieces. So here you have it. 1777, the Continental Congress was in existence. What's the Continental Congress? What's the Continental Congress? Check it. Wikipedia. I'm just showing you how everything is right here in our face. The Continental Congress, also known as the Philadelphia Congress, was a convention of delegates called together from the 13 colonies. It became the governing body of the United States during the American Revolution. The Congress met from 1774 to 1789 in 3 incarnations. The first call for a convention was made over issues of the blockade and the intolerable acts penalizing the province of Massachusetts, which in 1774 enabled Benjamin Franklin to convince the colonies to form a representative body. Much of what we know today comes from the early logbooks printed by the Continental Congress called resolutions, acts, and orders of Congress, which gives a day-to-day description of debates and issues. Although the delegates were divided early on as to whether to break from Crown rule, the Second Continental Congress on July 2nd, 1776, passed a resolution asserting independence. This is when the Declaration of Independence. With no opposing vote recorded, the Declaration of Independence was issued 2 days later, declaring themselves a new nation, the United States of America. It established a Continental Army, giving command to one of its members, George Washington of Virginia. It waged war with Great Britain, made a militia treaty with France, and funded the war effort with loans and paper money. The Third Continental Congress was the Congress of the Confederation under the Articles of Confederation. Do you comprehend? Do you comprehend? So here we have it. So prior to the Peace Treaty of 1786, there were governments in place already. There were governments in place already. Now, I'm going to piece this together for y'all. And then I'm going to close out. Because like I said, I don't want to make this too long. This should be a good starter for you guys. Because remember now, the First Continental Congress was in the Hall of Philadelphia, right? Right? They were in the Hall of Philadelphia. So it's amazing. Here we have 1933 Legislative Journal, House page 5759, resolution number 75. This is the same year the gold got taken out the banks, right? Just so y'all know. Mr. Whitkin, Mr. Speaker, I desire at this time to call up resolution number 75, printers number 1034. The resolution was read by the clerk as follows. In the House of Representatives, April 17, 1933, many sons and daughters of that proud and handsome race which inspired the architecture of northern Africa and carried into Spain the influence of its artistic temperaments have become citizens of this nation. In the city of Philadelphia there exists a Moorish American society made up of Moors who have found here the end of their quest for a home and of the children of those who journeyed here from the plains of Morocco. The society has done much to bring about a thorough absorption by these people of those principles which are necessary to make them good American citizens. These Moorish Americans have since being here missed the use of the titles and name annexations that were so familiar at home and which are used in accordance with the doctrines of the religious faith to which they are adherents. Therefore be it. Remember, religion means deed of trust. Be it resolved, and faith means confidence. So you have confidence in your trust. Okay? I'm going to read this one more time. So now that you know this, religion means deed of trust, because this is a legal document, right? We're talking about law. And faith means confidence. So I'm going to start from this sentence again. These Moorish Americans have since being here missed the use of the titles and name annexations that were so familiar at home, and which are used in accordance with the doctrines of the religious faith to which they are adherents. Therefore be it resolved that this House commends the Moorish American Society of Philadelphia for the efficient service it has rendered the nation in bringing about a speedy and thorough Americanization of these former Moors, and that in accordance with the fullest right of religious independence guaranteed every citizen, we recognize also the right of these people to use the name affixes El or Ali or Bey or any other prefix or suffix to which they have heretofore been accustomed to use or which they may hereafter acquire the right to use. On the question, will the House adopt the resolution? It was adopted May 4th, 1933. So this is not me talking about Moors, all right? And then what are they talking about? They're talking about a Moorish American society that's doing the same thing we're doing today. We're trying to bring our people back home by bringing them their name and their nationality. To make them what? Better citizens, better American citizens, not better United States citizens. Because this is the Almaricanos. According to the treaty, this is the Almaricanos, the land of the Moors. Okay? So the same thing we're doing today. We're trying to get people who think they're Negro, black, and colored to realize that they're not that. We're trying to make them better American citizens, bring them back into the constitutional fold. So this very thing that this resolution is speaking about, we're still doing this very service till this day. We're serving our people. Now, this right here is going to be a kicker for y'all. And then y'all say, well, how is Morocco related to America? I'm going to explain to you. try to check this. Let's see here. Continue the article. Okay. This Friday, President Barack Obama will be hosting His Majesty. What date is this? This might be old. Well, of course it's old. It's talking about Barack Obama. November 21st, 2013. Here's the day right here. At 9:34 a.m. All right. Why Morocco matters to the U.S. This Friday, President Barack Obama will be hosting His Majesty King Mohammed VI of Morocco in Washington, D.C. This historic and strategic meeting between the leaders of our two countries will, among other things, help to foster and strengthen bilateral economic ties between the United States and Morocco, as well as deepen the relations between two resilient nations that share deep historical ties on many levels. Morocco has enjoyed a vibrant relationship with the United States since time immemorial. In 1777, Morocco was the first country in the world to formally acknowledge the United States as an independent nation. It is also crucial to note that Morocco has been a loyal and indispensable American ally during these trying political times in the Maghreb, of which Morocco is an integral part. We have been consistent supporters of the United States in its relentless campaigns to negotiate and facilitate peace during the unfortunate political events that have unfolded in the region. Last year, both Morocco and the United States engaged in strategic dialogue to address most of these issues and deliberate on solutions. Perhaps the most important dynamic in this relationship is the fact that both Morocco and the United States are bound by a free trade agreement that guarantees free flow of business between our two nations. That will be dealing with the peace treaty as well. It's a treaty of amity and commerce, y'all. Any observer of this long-standing relationship between Morocco and the United States will reaffirm its depth and magnitude. Tomorrow's high-level meeting between His Majesty and Barack Obama will offer an opportunity for both countries to discuss the evolution and future of this essential relationship, especially from an economic and commercial standpoint. There has never been a more appropriate time for American businesses to expand into Africa than now. Whether you believe it or not, Africa is rising fast. Over the last decade, Africa's growth rates have been approaching that of Asia. So I'm going to stop here because it's going into falsery. Okay? So now, there's a relationship between Morocco and the United States, right? Okay. So now I'm going to go back. Now remember, now the American states is called the Almanicanos. Don't that sound close to Morocco? Almanicanos, Morocco, Maricanos, Morocco, Maricanos, Morocco. But okay, in the treaty, the American states is known as the Almanicanos. I'll take that. But then, let's go into this. And this is going to be very, very, let me see if it's in here. It's going to be very huge. This document here is called Expatriation and Citizenship. I've read through this document numerous of times. I think that's page 586 if I'm not mistaken. Should be 586. Let me see here. Okay, I'm getting close. We're getting close, y'all. There we go. We're in the end. Here we go, right here. So now, this is expatriation of citizenship of the United States. I want y'all to comprehend something here. I'm gonna bring it right here to Morocco. Right, remember, there's a relationship between Morocco and the United States. There's a relationship between Morocco and the United States. There are, strictly speaking, no Moroccan laws relating to citizenship of Moorish subjects in Morocco. The fundamental laws of this non-Christian country are based entirely upon the Islamic code, no part of which treats of the subject of citizenship. So we're going to go deeper. There are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between the various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire, by means of which citizenship in this country is defined. But as I understand from the above acknowledged instructions that it is not the desire of the department to call for a report upon such lines, I will therefore confine these remarks to general conditions existing, which may possibly be of some use in connection with the information desired. Citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure as Moorish subjects. 2 and 3. Moorish subjects lost their nationality only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. Alright? So now, United States in Morocco. Now we're talking about the country, right? So now, I know you're still wondering, how does this tie in jurisdiction? I got you. I got you. I'm coming right with it. I'm coming right with it. I'm coming right with it. Check this out here. And this is for, here we go, what we have. Right? So this is for everyone who believes that George Washington is the first president, right, of the United States. So check this out. Another congressional record. Letter from George Washington to Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Sultan of Morocco, City of New York, December 1st, 1789. Remember now? Constitution for the United States Republic of North America was published in 1789. Ratified. Great and magnanimous friend. Since the date of the, and this is George Washington writing to the Sultan from New York. Since the date of the letter which the late Congress, by their president, addressed to your Imperial Majesty. So right now, George Washington just told you that there was a government prior to him and that there was a president prior to him. The United States of America have thought proper to change their government and institute a new one, agreeable to the Constitution, of which I have the honor herewith to enclose a copy. The time necessarily employed in the arduous task and the disarrangements occasioned by so great though peaceable a revolution will apologize and account for your Majesty's not having received those regularly advised marks of attention from the United States which the friendship and magnanimity of your conduct toward them afforded reason to expect. So he's talking about how he wasn't able to make the taxes. You understand what I'm saying? But also, he sent over the new Constitution to the Majesty, right? To the Sultan. And the Sultan had to agree with it in order for the Constitution to pass. Meaning the Constitution had to be in alignment with Moroccan law or Muslim law in order for the Constitution to pass. Which tells you what? That this Constitution is agreeable with Moroccan law. Boom. Next paragraph. The United States having unanimously appointed me to supreme executive authority in this nation. Your Majesty's letter of August 17, 1788, 2 years after the peace treaty was signed, and 1 year prior to the ratification of the Constitution, which by reason of the dissolution of the late government, remained unanswered, has been delivered to me. I have also received the letters which your Imperial Majesty has been so kind as to write in favor of the United States to the Bashas of Tunis and Tripoli, and I present to you the sincere acknowledgments and thanks of the United States for this important mark of your friendship for them. We greatly regret the hostile disposition of those regencies toward this nation, who have never injured them, is not to be removed on terms of our power to comply with. Within our territories there are no mines, whether of gold or silver, and this young nation, just recovering from the waste and dissolution of a long war, have not as yet had time to acquire riches by agriculture and commerce. But our soil is bountiful and our people industrious, and we have reason to flatter ourselves that we shall gradually become useful to our friends. The encouragement which your Majesty has been pleased generously to give to our commerce with your dominions So with whose dominions? Oh, the Sultan of Morocco's dominions. So he gave his dominions to the United States. Let's keep on reading. Well, not give, but George Washington is expressing the fact that these are his dominions, right? Commerce with your dominions, the punctuality with which you have caused a treaty with us to be observed, and the just and generous measures taken in the case of Captain Proctor, make a deep impression on the United States and confirm their respect for and attachment to your Imperial Majesty. This is very important. Respect for and attachment to. So the United States is attached to Morocco. Do you comprehend that? Some people say, how is it that how do you know this is Morocco? Because George Washington said this is Morocco. He wrote it in a letter. This ain't me, your brother Koo, saying this. This ain't any other Moor saying this. This is George Washington writing down his words. Hey, thank you for blessing us with your dominions. And by the way, because you've been so generous and great and gave such a good word for us, it confirms for us our respect for and attachment to you and your empire. We are attached to you and your empire. We have respect for your empire and we are attached to it. So the United States, there is no United States without Morocco. Comprehend that. There is no United States without Morocco. Seriously, let that marinate in your brain. So this is Morocco. This is the United States of Morocco. Because the Sultan granted with his dominions. Okay. That right there is a banger. Okay? A serious banger. Because this right here debunks everyone who tries to talk about, well, Moors, they're lying, they're bullshitting, they're really not dealing with themselves. And also, to also qualify, federal. Black's law definition, right? We're gonna look up federal. Because everyone's like, oh, you know what I'm saying, the federal government. You don't want to deal with the federal government. Do y'all even know what the federal government is? What is federal? In constitutional law, a term commonly used to express a league or compact between two or more states. In American law, belonging to the general government or union of the states, founded on or organized under the Constitution or laws of the United States. A league or compact. So now, let's look at league. What is a league? And we're still talking about federal here, right? A treaty of alliance between different states or parties. I'm going to say it one more time. What is a league? A treaty of alliance between different states or parties. It may be offensive or defensive or both. It is offensive when the contracting parties agree to unite in attacking a common enemy. Defensive when the parties agree to act in concert in defending each other against an enemy.
Cool, did I have my backpack on when we came in?
I don't know, bro.
Hopefully I didn't.
You understand? So when you're talking about federal, you're talking about treaty alliance, okay? So with that being said, I want to close out. I'm gonna close out like this. Put the light back on. And I just want to reiterate that we are Moorish Americans. Anyone who is of melanated complexion is an American, a true and original American. You are a Moor of the Almanicanos. You are a Moor because this is Morocco. This is the dominions of Morocco. And the United States has respect and is attached to Morocco. So there is no Morocco without the United States. The very Constitution of the United States had to be agreed upon according to Moroccan law. So they have to be in alignment in order for that to be passed. Because remember, both parties agreed to the treaty. So comprehending that and stop letting these COINTELPRO people, who's online, who's just speaking all these things, but then they're not really backing up or qualifying what they're talking about with actual facts. Don't pay them no mind and don't give them your energy. You need to focus your energy into studying so that you can be grounded in this information, so that when you hear things like that, or distractions or demons sent here to throw you off your path, you know to stand solid. And you won't be moved like a mountain, because you know what's the truth, and you know what's real, you know what's false. You understand what I'm saying? Because we are Moors. We are Moors. Oh, and by the way, in case, I'll add this one in here too, just as a kicker. Check this out. Look up more. In a noun, a tract of open, uncultivated upland, a heath. Synonyms: upland, moorland, heath. Old English, moor, of Germanic origin, moor. Make fast by attaching it by a cable. This is the moor, the verb aspect. Moor, noun. A member of a northwestern African Muslim people of mixed Berber and Arab descent. In the 8th century, they conquered the Iberian Peninsula, but were finally driven out of their last stronghold in Granada at the end of the 15th century. You know 1492 is 8 years away from 1500, right? So at the end of the 15th century, when we lost our stronghold, that's when Columbus so-called discovered the Almanicanos. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's look here. More definition of more in the English Oxford dictionaries. Okay. Mentioned the same things essentially. They're all essentially saying the same things. Let's see synonyms. More. know, it's one thing when you read definitions in an actual dictionary book and you try to find it online. Because essentially for me, when I look up the term Moor, it's synonymous with land. Let me just type it in. Moorland or moor is a type of habitat found in upland areas and temperate grasslands, savannas, and shrublands, and montane grasslands and shrublands. So, you know, when you're talking about moors, you're talking about land. So this is what I wanted to bring to you today, my family. This is Morocco. And you need to get with the program or you're going to get left behind. Essentially, because if you keep letting these distractions take place, then you're not going to be in your right state of mind to be inheritable. Because if you're Black African American, you're non-descendable. You don't have a right to inheritance. You don't have any protections to protect you, meaning your body or your property, from external forces. All right. So if you don't have this in place, you're not executing religion. Meaning you need to have a trust in place. If you're talking about you worship God, you worship Allah, you worship the Creator, and you're a child of the Creator, and then I ask you, all right, so you're into religion? Yeah. Do you have a will in place? Do you have a trust in place? To where if anything happens to you, what you have gained in your life will be passed on as an inheritance to your children. If you don't have that in place, you're not talking about religion. Not the religion I'm talking about, because the religion I'm talking about is deed of trust. So now, when someone makes a comment like, Moors are about paperwork, we're about paperwork. No, it's not paperwork. We're about trust law. And trust law involves deeds and instruments and written documents as proof to verify what we're saying. So that it's not just what I said, what he said, and what she said. This is what the world is saying. That's what the paperwork is about. Is getting everyone on the same page. And so you can't be like, well, this person said it. Well, prove how they said it. How are you gonna prove it? Oh, how about we go back into the records and look at the documents. Let's look at the paperwork so we can show and prove. All right. So yes, we're dealing with deeds and instruments, the same way people deal with notes every day. You talk about Moors are about paperwork, but then if you want to go discharge something or you're going to go so-called purchase something at a store, you're using paper to so-called purchase those things. So it's a null and void argument. It's a straw man argument, yo. If you ain't about your name and your nationality, and you don't have your trust in place to protect your estate, then you ain't talking about nothing. If you're saying Moors ain't legit, Moors is fake, it ain't real, use COINTELPRO, or you haven't studied and you're just going off of what someone else said. But if you look at the information and you don't see that picture, like if everyone look at 2 + 2 and everyone can come to an agreement that 2 + 2 = 4, and the rest of the world is looking at the same 2 + 2, but all these Negroes and African American people over here, for some reason 2 + 2 over here equals 4.5. I don't comprehend it. But to the rest of the world, 2 + 2 = 4. The rest of the world knows that this is the Al-Maghrib Al-Aqsa, Morocco of the extreme west. But the rest of the world knows this is the United States. They don't know this is America, the Al-Maricanos. America, Maricanos. America is Al-Maricanos. Let's keep studying so that we don't allow these distractions to weave us off of our paths, yo. We're on a rise to greatness, back to our greatness, being who we are, being who we have always been, which is Moorish Americans. Don't let people BS you, man. Don't go off of what he said, she said. I got documentations that I didn't write or read. These things were made way before I was a thought. You know what I'm saying? So these things are here for a reason, y'all. This is why our ancestors left inscriptions and writings on the wall. You know what I'm saying? So before we were using paperwork, we were actually leaving things like pottery, art, paintings, monuments, statues. So we're always leaving facts so we can go back and look at them and verify them and know that it's real. So someone's just going off of, well, Moors is this, Moors ain't that, and Moors is about religion, and they don't really know what they're talking about. How about you ask them more? If you don't know, if you're not too concerned about Moorish science and history and what it means to be a Moor or an American, why don't you ask them more? That's all I'm saying. Don't keep feeding off of lies, and people are not qualifying what they're saying. I've been living my life as a Moor, been operating as a Moor, and my life has been beautiful. Not dealing with foreigners, not dealing with people assuming or making claims on your property. It's a beautiful thing. When you register land into a trust and it's protected underneath the religious doctrine of your state, according to your state constitution, it's a beautiful thing. It's a real beautiful thing when you secure land and you're not paying property tax and you're not even worried about it because you home. And the state and the world and the state recognizes that this is your property and it's in the record. It's a beautiful thing, man. But they don't talk about this stuff. They don't talk about torrents and registering land and the importance of having a trust or religion. The importance of having religion to protect your property with your deed of trust. But they don't talk about that though. They just talk about going to church every Sunday. But on that note, I'm your brother. Peace, Islam, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Love and light. If you're interested in more of these presentations, like I said, come holler at me over on the Suno University page. You can subscribe with a monthly subscription, or like I said, for the meantime, while the videos are having issues, I do have all my videos personally on my Google Drive. So if you're interested in making these videos accessible to you, get in contact with me. Email me at suneluniversity, SUNELUNIVERSITY @gmail.com, and we'll take it from there. All right, family. Peace.